Hi, welcome to another episode of the Gian's Journal Paris Travel Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between low budget airlines and premium airlines. So stay with us and let's have fun.
Hi. Have you ever thought of buying a cheap flight? Obviously, yes. But sometimes you go like, it will be a good idea or it won't.
So basically here we're going to compare the pros and the cons of the premium and the low budget. So let's start analyzing these beautiful details. So the first thing with low budget is that the good thing is that we have good prices. So they offer you a lot of offers. They give you like, you can find flights for $50, $25. So that's amazing deal. So that's something that they cannot compete with premium. They offer you stuff that you're ready to basically purchase and be in a beautiful destination within hours.
Yeah, you also have direct routes to small towns, let's say. That's a good thing too. Also, the most important thing I think that you have to get in mind is that you paid for what you bought. It's just the airplane flight.
So basically, for example, it doesn't include like check bags, your seats. You don't have internet like Frontier. They don't even have the option to buy internet. They don't even give you water. So if you want to buy any type of snacks, you have to purchase everything on your own. So that's the thing that basically is the bad part of the low budget airlines. But again, you're paying $25, $50, $75. So technically you can take some of your money to pay those stuff, but that's the bad thing.
Yeah, another thing is that you have frequently offers. So for example, we used to use something called a Wild Pass with Frontier, which you pay like only taxes. For example, you pay once a year. I think it was $599, right?
Correct.
$599, and then when you fly, you just pay taxes, like inside the United States, and I think also international, right?
Correct. You just pay basically the taxes. So maybe a flight, let's say from Miami to Puerto Rico, if Puerto Rico has a high tax, which they have, you will pay like about $30 for one way. And then if you're going to a place like Denver or Philadelphia, yeah. So basically you can pay maybe $15. So technically it will depend on the state where you're going and the city, what taxes they have. But basically it's a great option to fly around US. And then if you're going international, then you can pay, let's say $80 to go to Cancun or to go to Dominican Republic. So you have different options. So it's a good thing. The bad side on that Wild Pass is that for national flights, you have to book 1 day before. So 1 day before departure. And then for international, it's 10 days prior departure. So that's the only thing.
And also you can book in the international one, you can book round trip.
Correct. And the national, you just have to, you book one way, and then international, you can do round trip. So that's the good thing of international part.
Correct. Now, moving a little bit to the bad part of using budget airlines is that, for example, as Justin mentioned before, you have hidden fees. So
hidden fees. And I just put the quotation marks just because they're not really hidden. You know what you have to pay for. So for example, you know that your flight doesn't include luggage. So that means that it's not hidden. You just need to make sure that you know that if you take your personal item, that it fits on their size or the regulation. If you want to buy snacks, then you know that your flight doesn't cover snacks. So technically they're not hidden, but you must be aware of what they are.
Correct. Another thing is the space. You don't have sufficient space. Well, I really don't find that really important, because if you pay a basic economy, let's say in American Airlines, basically, it's just the difference of legroom. It's really, really small. Another thing that I think that it's really important on the budget airlines is that when you book a flight, right, and let's say the airline cancels it, you don't have that much flexibility of hours to go into another airplane. So let's say if you were traveling today and Frontier, Spirit, or whichever budget airline that you're using cancels the flight, then you don't have, maybe you don't have another option to fly that day, and it's really important for you to go or to be there that same day or the day after, and then you probably will need to wait until the next day to fly. Another bad thing is that you don't have a good customer service, so that doesn't help too if you're in this situation that your flight was canceled.
So basically, their customer service is more like WhatsApp, or they have phone numbers sometimes, because Frontier doesn't have a phone number. But technically, you don't receive a good service just because you get what you pay for. So you have to reach out. They maybe give you a voucher. They maybe give you a hotel, but you have to start fighting for those stuff. For example, I have an experience like 2 months ago. I went into a flight in American Airlines, and basically I missed my connection. And when I missed that connection, American already did everything for me. So once I arrived to the airport to my stop, I had hotel already booked. I had my transportation already booked, and then I have my next flight in the morning already booked. So I didn't even have to call for no reason. They handle everything for me. So again, you're paying for a premium service, so you expect that from them. On the low budget, and on the other hand, then basically you're receiving a worse service, but because that's what you're paying for. But at the end, you gotta be conscious that you can call, you have your rights, but you have to fight for them. That's the difference.
Correct. And I think it's not the Budget Airlines, just because I remember you have a situation with Delta. I think it was that they were fighting for a cancellation fee or something. You remember that you were fighting for $500, I think. I think it was that they sent you a check.
Oh, that was United. Yeah, I was with United for that was an international flight. I was coming from, I think it was London to Miami, and they canceled the flight. And then basically I had a situation where I have to book a different airline just to be home. I didn't want to wait that many days over there, and then basically they didn't want to pay me the amount, but then basically I give them the regulations, I give them everything, and then they send a check for the amount. But those are the type of stuff you gotta just figure out and fight for your rights, because at the end of the day, it's your money and your rights.
Correct. And now moving to the premium airlines like American Airlines, Delta, United, Southwest, and many others. You have obviously better services and better other things. As we said, you have more comfortability when you fly. You have Wi-Fi service on airplanes. Some of them are free. I don't know which one of them.
I think all of them are free on the entertainment. On Wi-Fi, I know for sure Delta is free. American, you have to pay. United,
I remember JetBlue too. JetBlue, you have free Wi-Fi.
Then JetBlue, I don't recall United if it's free or not. But basically, you have those options which is good because you have the flexibility. So, for example, when we travel with the kids, then Frontier doesn't have any type of service. They don't even have chargers on the airplane. So you have to make sure that you have everything fully charged and basically everything ready, everything downloaded for your flight. Now, if you for some reason forget to charge your phone, your tablet, you didn't download anything on the flight for American Airlines or Delta, then you have those options over there to basically look for things. So that's the good thing on the premium side, that you can be more flexible for getting stuff. So
yeah, I think another important thing is that on the premium the premium airlines, you also have more flexibility, and let's say it works really good for work, for business. So if you travel a lot, it might be better to fly on premium flights than on budget airlines.
Correct.
Because premium flights instead of budget flights.
So the reason for that is, for example, let's say you miss a connection or you have a meeting on the next day, and for some reason you miss something, you have more flexibility to get to your place on time just because they have more options available. So you may arrive to a different airport, you may use a different airline, like they have one rule for American Airlines, so that's their aliens. which basically will cover different airlines. So you can have over there British Airways, you can have Air France. So you can basically use multiple airlines to get to your destination. So that's the good thing on premium airlines, that you can rely on customer service on that part. The other thing is that basically they have like this flight hubs or these airports that they fly out most of the flights into it. So for example, for Delta, they do their central location is Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're going to Chicago, the bad thing is that you have to do multiple stops most of the time, so you don't have direct flights for most of the places. But if you arrive into a destination and you are for some reason missed your connection because you were late, then you can stop at Atlanta, and then let's say you're going to Chicago, then the next flight is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then you can fly to Milwaukee and then drive down to Chicago. I know that's not what you prefer, but you have the option if it's something that is urgent, which on the small airlines or low budget, you don't have those options most of the time.
Correct. Another thing is that there are more people know the premium airlines than the budget airlines too. And for that reason, I think you have more benefits too if you're a frequent flyer.
Correct.
So, yeah. And also, for example, I remember that we spoke about the American Express Platinum card. With that card, we can enter the Sky Lounge. Sky Lounge is called?
That's Centurion Lounge at Delta. Yeah, Sky Lounge.
Sky Lounge for Delta because they're partners.
Yeah. So for example, if you book a flight with Delta, you can access the Sky Lounge basically for free. Technically, it's not free. Correct. Because you're paying the card, but in that case, will be for free. So you can eat, have some beverage and stuff. Now, if you're booking a flight with, let's say, American Airlines, you cannot access Sky Lounge, but you can go to Centurion Lounge or Priority Pass. So that's a good thing on the premium airlines, that most of those lounges are available on the terminals of the premium airlines. So for example, if you're going into Miami Airport and you're trying to go with Frontier, the terminal for Frontier doesn't have anything basically. It's just maybe a snack place and then some empanadas and then that's it. Now, if you're going into the terminal that has American Airlines or Delta, then you have lounges, you have a lot of options to eat. So that's another good thing on the premium airlines, that you have most options because they carry so many flights.
Correct. And for the Sky Delta too, if you have the Platinum card for American Express, you don't need to have, you can be flying even on the basic economy and you still can use the lounge with the credit card.
Correct. So you don't have to, for example, most lounges, they require for you to be like first class or status member. So if you have the Amex card, then basically you just need to book a flight. Doesn't matter the economy class or premium or anything of that. It just matter that you have a flight with them.
Yep. The worst part maybe on the premium flights is obviously the money. Their flights are really, really, really expensive. And I say really, really expensive because sometimes you can find good prices too, but most of the time they're really expensive if you compare them to other airlines, as Spirit, Frontier, and all those. Well, the difference in between the money, it's really, really, really big.
Yeah. So for example, let's say you can find a flight, a round trip, which you can with Frontier or Spirit at $50. Let's say 100. Let's take it to 100. If you buy for, let's say we are 4, even though in this case we're gonna put Gianmarco, but Gianmarco right now doesn't pay. But let's say we are 4, then that will be 400 for the tickets. Now, if you go into, let's say, American or Delta, let's say their economy flight is 200. That will mean that now you're doubling your budget because now it's 800. So in that case, then you're saving 400. So that's why I said that even though they don't offer snacks in Frontier, either you take your snacks or you purchase them, still you will never be doing a 400 purchase in a flight. So right. That's what you have to look for.
Just in the case, you might get to 400 if you don't read the rules, if you don't inform yourself of what you're buying for less money.
So basically, if you purchase the ticket Frontier with with personal items, and then you arrive with 4 carry-ons at the gate, they're gonna charge you 100 each. Now you get to the 400 very easy. So
Correct.
you just need to make sure that you understand the rules for each airline, and then you will be safe on that and covered from that part.
And I'm pretty much sure you're gonna take the best decision because you always wanna have a good budget for flights.
Yep. So basically, other than that,
what we recommend is it's for me or for us, for sure flights. Like let's say if you're gonna travel from Thursday till Sunday, you can use a budget airline. For me, there's no issues, there's no problems. Now, if you're traveling because of business, if you're doing long trips, if you're going really in a long flight and all that stuff, well, maybe you will take in consideration a premium flight. Because why? Because maybe if you pay whatever you pay, if something happens, you know you're gonna have the response that you will want in that time. So I think that's something really important. Also, if you're flying with your family, with kids, and it's for more than 4 days and all that stuff, you will consider a expensive airline.
So I will say if you're flying 4 hours or less, you can do low budget airlines for sure. No issues, even though you may be uncomfortable in the 3rd hour and stuff like that, still you can solve that. Now, if you're going 5 hours plus, international trips or long trips, then for sure choose a premium airline so you can be more comfortable and you have those type of benefits that you receive from them. So that's a good thing. Other than that, I will say just be conscious of what you're doing. Make sure to like, subscribe our channel, comment on this video. Are you team low budget or are you team premium? Let us know any type of experience, and don't forget that travel with kids is not chaos.
They're just unforgettable memories.
Bye.
Bye.